Every cinephile's favorite director, Christopher Nolan, just released his adaptation of The Odyssey by Homer Simpson. So let's talk about it. There may be some light spoilers ahead, but you had 3,000 years to read the book, so that's on you. Hi, welcome to Film Stash. My name is Douglas Campbell. Now, I didn't know what to expect with this film. Growing up, I read some of the Greek myths, I read Percy Jackson, I loved Percy Jackson, but I never actually read The Odyssey. My exposure was mostly in references to the original material and reimaginings like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But if I could describe this film in 4 words, it is epic. Wait, we've had great films this year like Project Hail Mary, but with this film, I keep coming back to the word epic. And I could go on and on about how beautiful the cinematography is, or the incredible score by Ludwig Göransson, but what I think impresses me the most about this film is that after winning an Oscar for Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan took one of the biggest swings of his career outside of his usual genres. Now, Christopher Nolan dabbles in sci-fi, and his films are pretty grounded. Even films like Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige, these films that are like so on the border of insanity, like they find a way to stay grounded within the worlds that he presents. Look, I never doubted Christopher Nolan, but when I heard he was tackling a story with gods, monsters, witches that turn people into pigs, I kind of paused when I heard like this was going to be his next project. How's that going to work? The story of the Odyssey is the ultimate this happens and then this happens and then this happens story. It's the marvelous misadventures of Odysseus. Look, what I'm saying is that it's not too hard to mess up a story like this because there's just so many moving pieces in this thing. I think what makes it work is that Nolan, he takes this story and he kind of frames the journey through stories being told. Odysseus recounts his journey to Calypso. Menelaus tells Telemachus about Troy. And then you have the more straightforward story about what's happening back at home with Penelope and the suitors. And what you end up with, it's way more epic in scale and also a lot more mysterious. It kind of stays true to the nature of how these stories probably were passed down in ancient Greece. And honestly, I thought that was pretty neat. I don't know if Christopher Nolan did this intentionally. The mythological elements in this film, they kind of existed in a gray area. Since most of these events were told through Odysseus, one of the last survivors of this whole journey, only him seeing the gods was peculiar. With the film's main theme on PTSD and war and conflict leading to the disintegration of humanity, I think Christopher Nolan, he took the mythological elements from the book and he reinterpreted them to be Odysseus' way of dealing with his decisions that ultimately led to the death of his men. The Cyclops, man-eating giants, Circe, and the pigs, all made up. And I know this idea, it probably will upset people who love the original Odyssey. They love all the mythological elements. To me, I thought this was a pretty cool reinterpretation. Maybe it's a long shot, but comment below if you agree with this or disagree with this. I don't have many complaints with this film. Production, the acting, everything is just so fantastic. The only thing I could probably say is that with a runtime of 2 hours and 56 minutes, I was getting a little antsy in the end. Look, a man's gotta pee, okay? And even on the car ride home, like I've gone back and forth whether this particular film would have worked better as an almost 3-hour epic or a TV miniseries. From what I've read, a lot of cool stuff was cut from the original story. Dealt with more shit on the way home. I think with the final product that we got, I think it's a film that demands to be seen in theaters. I would give this a solid 9 out of 10. Maybe upon revisits, it will go up, maybe it'll go down. So what do you guys think? Did you like his adaptation of The Odyssey? What's your favorite Christopher Nolan film? Comment below, let me know. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Any help you can give my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're already subscribed to me, thank you so very much. My current subscriber goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you're able to, click that little button below. Well, that's all the time we have for today here on Film Stash. My name is Douglas Campbell. If you excuse me, go see if I can get that popcorn bucket.